I'm Rudabeh Shabazi in for Nichole Berlie. It is Tuesday, June 28th. This is NewsNation Rush Hour, and we'll get to those top stories in just a moment. But first, we want to get you right to our lead story today. Brand new allegations about former President Trump revealed at today's last-minute January 6th hearing. An aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows recounting what she heard from a security official on January 6th. The bombshell testimony accusing the president of becoming irate when he was told he could not accompany his supporters to the Capitol, even allegedly lunging at a Secret Service agent and grabbing the steering wheel. We'll be breaking down today's surprise hearing and its implications for the investigation. Let's start with NewsNation correspondent Tom Dempsey. And Tom, what did we learn during today's hearing?
Well, this testimony featured brand new allegations and really painted a picture of the former President Donald Trump knowing that some of his supporters had weapons like AR-15s on the morning of January 6th. And then he demanded to go down to the Capitol after speaking to a crowd of supporters. But this testimony came from a former aide to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and featured details of things she witnessed or heard secondhand about the actions of the president that day.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Tuesday's hearing in front of the Special House Committee investigating the January 6th riot featured witness Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to former President Trump's Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Lawmakers listened as she recalled details from that day and heard radio calls from police describing some supporters being heavily armed.
I got 3 men walking down the street in fatigue while carrying AR-15.
Hutchinson told the committee Trump knew of the threats in the crowd, but kept up his call for them to march down to the Capitol to stop the 2020 presidential electoral votes from being certified.
We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Perhaps the most explosive allegation of all the hearings, when Hutchinson described what she was told by another aide about what allegedly happened inside the president's motorcade between Trump and a Secret Service agent.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Renato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
That fury carried over into the White House when Hutchinson described the president's alleged reaction to an interview then Attorney General Bill Barr gave to the Associated Press, saying there was no widespread election fraud.
I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall, and there's a shattered porcelain plate on the floor. The valet had articulated that the president was extremely angry at the Attorney General's AP interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall.
Tuesday's hearing offering details of moments leading up to the attack on the Capitol.
We were watching the Capitol building get defaced over a lie. And it was something that was really hard in that moment to digest, knowing what I had been hearing down the hall and the conversations that were happening, seeing that tweet come up and knowing what was happening on the Hill. And it's something that I still struggle to work through the emotions of that.
And Rudabeh, the former president responded on his social media platform, Truth Social, saying he hardly knows this woman who testified today and offered these details. He responded to those steering wheel allegations, that story of him with that Secret Service agent, calling it a fake story and the details sick and fraudulent. He also responded to that story of him allegedly throwing food, saying it's a false story. Rudabeh, the next hearing for this committee is later in July.
And Tom, has that Secret Service agent in the motorcade testified under oath himself?
Yeah, that's a big question right now. He has testified under oath. That testimony came behind closed doors. And something that's interesting to note in regards to all this, the chairman of this special House committee said that people mentioned in this hearing today by this witness, mentioned in these comments, could be called to testify in public later on. Again, as we said, the next hearing for this committee comes later in July, Rudabeh.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.